Can a sequel to a movie called Violent Night still feel like a Christmas miracle? Or is it just Santa's sack being shaken for loose change? By the end, the real question will be answered. Does Violent Night 2 have a reason to come down the chimney, beyond another round of festive blunt force trauma? The early answer is yes, potentially. But it also has one very large candy cane-shaped hurdle to clear. The first Violent Night had a wonderfully stupid premise, and I mean that as praise. David Harbour played Santa Claus as a bruised, bitter, battle-ready legend who found himself dealing with mercenaries the old-fashioned way, with a very selective interpretation of holiday spirit. It was not subtle. It was not trying to be. It was a Christmas action movie where the naughty list came with consequences. Now Violent Night 2 is bringing Harbour back, along with director Tommy Wirkola, and the 87 North team behind films including John Wick, Bullet Train, Atomic Blonde, The Fall Guy, and the Nobody franchise. That alone tells you what kind of wrapping paper we're dealing with. This is not a gentle seasonal reunion. This is a machine built to turn everyday objects into weapons and hallways into insurance claims. The setting this time is the Silver Bell Mall, where a ruthless gangster played by David Harbour is terrorizing the merchants. A mall at Christmas is already a pressure cooker. Bright lights, crowds, retail workers one peppermint mocha away from mutiny. Add a gangster and a Santa with lethal combat skills, and suddenly the food court may need a memorial plaque. That setting is the trailer's smartest ingredient. The first film put Santa in a house under siege. A sequel needs a new playground, not simply a larger version of the old one. A shopping mall gives the action team an entire festive toy box. Escalators, department stores, decorative displays, security gates, a Santa's grotto, presumably, though one hopes the children are nowhere near the professional violence. The location has personality, it has space, and most importantly, it has things that can be broken with seasonal enthusiasm. The trailer's central twist is also interesting. Santa has forgotten the true meaning of Christmas, and his magic has been drained. That is a risky move, but it could be exactly what keeps the sequel from becoming a reheated mince pie. Take away some magic, and Harbour's Santa has to rely on something else. Experience, pain, tolerance, anger. Maybe the kind of practical problem-solving that makes an action hero reach for a weapon nobody else in the room has considered. A diminished Santa sounds less like a downgrade and more like a way to create stakes. If the big guy can no longer simply operate at full North Pole power, each fight has a little more bite. And that matters. The original hook of Violent Night was the collision of myth and mayhem. Santa was funny because he was Santa, but he also had to be convincing as a threat. The sequel cannot survive on the punchline alone. Santa fights people again is amusing for about 8 seconds. After that, the movie needs a reason for us to care whether this exhausted, grumpy version of Saint Nick finds his way back to the part of Christmas that is not just hitting a villain with holiday furniture. The description suggests that may be the emotional engine. Santa ends up among a lively mall community that needs help. That gives the film a chance to expand the first movie's basic formula. Instead of one family in danger, there is a small world under pressure. Merchants, workers, regular people trying to keep their corner of Christmas alive, while a gangster turns the place into a nightmare. There's a decent movie in that contrast, a commercial holiday setting, all forced cheer and sales signage, becoming a battleground for a Santa who has lost his own sense of purpose. It is broad, it is cheesy. It is also exactly the kind of cheese this franchise should be serving. Melted, excessive, and probably dangerous to handle without gloves. David Harbour remains the key. He has the right physical presence for this role, obviously, but the secret sauce is his weariness. This Santa should not feel like a superhero in a red suit. He should feel like the last man at a party who has seen too much, had too much to drink, and still, somehow becomes the only person capable of stopping a hostage situation. Harbour can sell that mixture of gruffness and buried decency. The sequel needs him to be more than a joke with a beard. David Harbour is another promising piece. The description calls his character a ruthless gangster, which is a familiar action movie job title, but Harris brings a serious edge to any role. If the film gives him more than threats and expensive-looking coats, He could make a strong counterweight to Harbour. A villain in a movie this silly does not need to be realistic. He does need to feel like an actual problem. The concern is repetition. 87 North has earned a reputation for muscular, cleanly designed action, but a franchise can start mistaking choreography for escalation. Bigger is not automatically better. More broken ornaments do not equal more fun. Violent Night 2 needs fresh visual ideas, sure, but it also needs rhythm. Let the comedy breathe.